Hi, this video is about a healing journey. It's about working with the body, not on the body. It's about supporting the bodies through this ascension process, through healing ancestral lineage, old traumas, past life things, this life things, all stuff that comes up. And if you are probably aware, and maybe not, maybe there is so much happening in the body, you're just focusing on the symptoms and what's going on. Either way, I've been doing this for a while now, and I've been trying, testing, and there are things that I wish to share with you, the main things that have been working, and there's more, because I keep finding things. Now, there is also something to say about a healing journey, because if you keep saying that we are on a healing journey, we are always there, and it's also true. We always having something to move through and work with the body, right? But maybe it would be nicer to call it an process, a journey only, because otherwise you have this idea that you're always having something that is wrong, something that needs healing, which it's not the case. Nothing is wrong. We're just finding ways to support the body, finding ways to feel better, finding things that work for us, and all of this naturally, at least, as much as possible. And I hope this will assist you in some way, because I've been there and many times where I had go through a healing crisis, and one of the first things that I would feel like doing is to look for people who have healed naturally and found ways that could be supportive and helpful. So here is my collaboration to this. One thing that I always said, ever since I can remember, I have no idea when I started saying this, that I have this feeling that we will find a muscle. Like there might be some muscle or maybe more in our body. So things that we can do that we do not find yet. When you play around, that you find out that you can raise one eyebrow only, but the other one you have to like really figure it out and tune in and try to move it. And meanwhile, one of the sides you can do it. No, you don't have to think about it. And then the other side, you have to connect, like, oh, how do I move the other side? Or something else in your body. You can do it with the left, right side, or the right, and sometimes you can do it at all. And then you have to, if you keep trying, you find the muscle, and then you can move it, right? So I have this feeling that we will find muscles of, suddenly we remember a potential, not a potential, but we remember something we used to be able to do, and suddenly we can do it again, like a knowledge of something that is like, we cannot even imagine now, but something that we are capable of, that it's in our bodies, but we're not aware that the muscle is there. We have to tune into it, and then we find it, oh, it's been here all the time, So I always have this feeling we will find a muscle. And which is funny, because we'll come to it later, but I've been finding muscles. There is also another thing that I would like to mention. I'm looking at my notes here, because I also have an article format of this. I'll leave all links, and everything that I mentioned here will be in the description box. And so there is something that I've been talking about for a good while now. It got stronger right before I started going deeper into human design. And then it got like more and more this lesson of this, not lesson, but this awareness of, we're being called to trust the body. The body's giving us signs all the time. Can we trust it? Because a lot of times, and I keep sharing this because of this fact that I have to keep reminding myself as well, because a lot of times what your body is telling you is not the same thing that the mind is telling you. So the body is, you have this feeling of you don't want to do that thing, or let's say you don't want to do that thing, but your mind is like, there is no way I cannot do that thing. I have to. And it makes no logical sense. And so there is this conflict, but can we trust the body? Because and I've been there, and I've shared this a few times, where I go with the mind, and then the body gives like a pushback, like there is some kind of way that I really cannot be present for that situation, that I somehow my body was already telling me that's not. So like you get very sick, for example, and you cannot like physically do it. And so I've been seeing examples in my life of people around me and in myself, that there is this call is getting stronger and stronger. Can you trust the body? And so human design comes in to help us to understand deeper in how your body uniquely gives you that sign, the signs, you know. For different people, it works in different ways. Some people need to wait a little and feel into it. Some people would like have to pay attention into the moment and all different ways that you work with your own intuition and how your body communicates with you. But besides that, it's all a call, even human design and any other kind of tool, a call to understand how your body is communicating with you. Yes. A note about high influx days. I don't know, maybe you are, and let me know in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going in the comments. That will be fun. But because I'm curious to know if you have some tips also for the days when the Schumann resonance is high and strong, because I feel it very intensely in my body sometimes. Sometimes I can navigate it easier, but I always feel it. And I joke, and I saw a similar joke somewhere that those days of high influx should be like a mystic's day off. Like, you know, kids have the snow day where you don't have to go to school because it's snowing. So we would have like a mystic's day off because it's so difficult to be human on those days. I have to really focus on just being in my body for those days. But I'm finding ways to work with it and then getting like through it easier. And so there's a lot of things that I've been doing and that I'm going to share here that also helps with going through those energies easier. So the finding of the muscle, that's the first thing. It started like this. I wanted to, more and more I've been feel called to, and it's been happening for a good while now, to find natural ways to do everything. Like cleaning products, how can I do this more natural? How can I replace something how can I simplify and how can I make it more natural? This year also I stopped wearing makeup, which has been like, I think for 20 years I've been wearing something on my face and daily. And this year I finally had this feeling of this makes no sense. Like to put something that is like, even in the most natural, still have something that there is no need for us to keep applying things like that on our face on a daily basis, right? So I stopped that. Also to work with the sun, which I will talk more. So more and more, and I learned, so let me know any questions or any things that you want to share with me, let me know too. I started doing my own powder just to have something soap, because I always use castor oil, so not to be like shiny. I put a powder that I make with arrowroot, clay, and I recently started adding cinnamon. It smells nice, and I just use that. So it started with that, and then I started finding ways to work with the face muscles, because there's this thing that a while back it came to me through face yoga, like, why are we not, exercising those muscles? Why are you not paying attention and supporting those muscles, those on our faces? And I found myofascial. I think that's how you say it. I'm gonna write it here. Massages, and I started doing those, and that got me finding a muscle. And that's this muscle. And I'm gonna put the name here because let me try to pronounce it, Sternocleidomastoid. So she was massaging it in the video. I'll put the link. She was massaging it, and I noticed that mine was like all stuck here, and she was grabbing it easy, and I was like, mine is so stuck. And I started thinking about it, like this might be influencing a lot of things, like because it shouldn't be so stuck. And she was explaining too that this, if it's stuck, that you really need that massage, you really need to let things flow. And so I started working on it. And after about 2 weeks, maybe less than 2 weeks, I started noticing that my hair wasn't falling so much. And by then I was like, I was three years already shedding. Like my hair was like falling so much. It was in February, I think, where I started doing this. And it's still, now it's back to normal. Like it just a little bit of hair comes out. So that was like a big thing. I found a muscle over there. I found a muscle. That was really a revelation for me. Like, it made a lot of sense. And also that it's like one of the most important muscles I learned, and you will see too, because I have a link about one of the subjects here, the lymphatic system, because this communicates a lot of the body and the mind, the brain, all these functions here. So this is an important situation to be working healthily. So why are we not learning these things earlier? But yeah, I'm happy that I got that working. The other thing is breathing. And it's always nice to remember to focus on breathing, because there is a lot about stress and a lot about, as we talked about, we are working with the body about letting go of a lot of old stuff, right? So that's also very connected with stress and very connected with things that are stuck in the body. And so there is a lot about this stuck in the freeze mode. I started noticing that maybe, every time I would bring my attention to the body, there were things that were tense. So I started learning about another difficult word, diaphragmatic breathing. And that relaxes the whole body, because that sends a signal to the body that you're safe. And so that is really helpful to get out of that stress mode. And there's another thing that helps with that is reminding to keep your posture. Also, there's a lot happening through our spine. We are receiving a lot of information through our spine and a lot of alignment, and that helps with the breathing and this everything. So that's another thing to keep awareness, to keep your mind to it, and also doing exercises. And that's the number 3, like exercise, movement. There's another phase of that I will talk about in the next video, because there's something else I'm working with. But movement, and then I have a video of my favorite movement thing, because it brings together elements that are important, like Qigong, like yoga and activating the meridians. And I really like it. And then normally, like for years, many years, forever, I don't like repeating exercises. I like to do something new all the time. And this is the only one that I've been doing over and over, because it has all the elements, and also has a piece in the middle where it's about the exercises that I can play with that, and I do different ones. So finding ways to keep the body moving, also walking. That has been something that I've been doing a lot. I'm aiming for 8 to 10 steps a day. Now we're going to talk about sunlight at least 3 or 4 times a day, where I have these specific times where I go on a walk. And it's very about the sun. It's about working with the sun. I learned a lot, and this has been a main thing. Like, this has been huge for me. Learning also how your body works with the sun. So I have a video to explain deeper. So I'm just gonna break down like what I'm applying, like how to apply this information. If you want to go deeper into it, the link is there. But how important it is to go to see. So it's because it works through your eyes. So you receive a lot from the sun through your eyes. To see sunrise and sunset. It's the first hour of the sunrise that is the most important, and the last hour and the sun before the sunset is also very important. It gives a lot of nutrients, a lot of information to our bodies. So I've been making sure to do that. And then UVA, which is at the moment where I am at in Brazil in autumn, the UVA is, there is a time before the UVA that is important, apparently. So a lot of times you can have that window of just sunrise without the UVA, and then you get the UVA. So if you are able to go to be outside to get that window of time where you get the before the UVA and you get the UVA, perfect. I've been getting mostly already immediately in the UVA light, sometimes like very little before. But anyways, whatever you can do, the best thing is this, and then the next best thing is sunrise, and then the next best thing is just wake up and go outside. That does a lot for our bodies. Gives a lot of information, gives a lot of things that are very helpful throughout the day. Helpful for all the ways our organs work and everything. And then I go on a UVB walk that can be, I can do 1 or 2 a day, where you get the vitamin D. And recently I learned that it's helpful to supplement with magnesium to absorb the vitamin D better. And also another thing that is important for vitamin D is after you go out on such a walk to get the vitamin D, don't come back in and use soap on your skin for at least 2 hours, because that's your skin is still absorbing that vitamin. And using magnesium helps too. I'm using magnesiums in flakes. There's a lot of information in this video, but I'm using magnesium in flakes, and I dissolve it in water, I put it on a spray, and then sometimes I do it in foot soap. So it's good to work with that, and also helps with the stress, the calming the body, and helps with muscles also. I've been doing a little bit more exercises lately, and that's been helpful also to have the magnesium in my life. The next one is circadian rhythm, which is something that has been huge helpful. So I could start working with my day together with circadian rhythm, together with the sun, putting it all together. There will be more videos about that, about productivity and about working with that, like how to put it all together, right? So circadian rhythm, and also what I talked about before, there are apps for it too, that's going to be in the link. Apps for vitamin D, and apps for, not apps, I have one app for each, one app for vitamin D and one app for the circadian. So to be aware of that rhythm, so you can work with it, so that makes much easier everything. It makes easier to sleep, so it makes easier to wake up, makes easier for digestion. So look into it, check the app and see what the times for everything. There's even times for when you are, that will be the best time for learning and studying and working and exercising, everything. Next point is grounding. We learn about grounding, and so it took me a while to understand one thing, and there's like one information that I found that was really helpful. She calls it the earth prescription. And so you take it as a prescription. You go ground at least 20 minutes a day, like meaning you put your feet on the ground. And I've been doing feet on sand, and I learned that wet sand is best, so I've been doing that. There's a lot that happens in your body there, like the electrons and charging and discharging. There's a lot that happens there, connection and alignment and everything. So this is very beneficial. And I noticed with a person that I know here, and that he was having a lot of health problems, and I suggested to make sure you ground. And I noticed, it was funny to observe, because I noticed that when he was doing it, his health got a lot better, and he started feeling a lot better. He started feeling worse again, go back to how it was. And then I would ask, are you grounding? No. Then he would start grounding and start feeling better. It was so obvious that, so it was good for me to see the big difference that this makes in your body. Working with the sun, talking about big difference that it makes in the body. And the sun thing has been very big for me too. So I'm gonna try. Also, it sounds like it's a lot with the sun, but there are things that you can you start doing slowly. Like if you want to focus on one thing about the sun, go to the sunrise, go see the sunrise. That's difficult for you maybe. Then go to make sure you watch the sunset. Like find something. You don't have to all or nothing. Just find something and start working with the sun, working with the body in the ways that it's possible for you. Also, like I said, there is a lot of stuff here, and there's even more coming. But this is not to get you overwhelmed, thinking you have to do this everything. Otherwise, it's about me sharing what has been working for me, and maybe one thing will spark like something that you could try. Maybe one thing now, and then maybe in 2 months you remember something else, and you pick that up and try that. And also with the grounding thing is it's been 2 years, almost 2 years, that I've been using the same Vivo barefoot. Let's see if I can show you how. Grab it here. The same pair for 2 years. Yeah, for 2 years, and has been perfect. What I did was, like, I can feel my feet got a lot stronger. There is like, I feel the support. I feel like the muscles communicating, because that's what happens, right? There is so much information going from our feet to the rest of our body, through our spine, communicating with our brains. So it needs movement. And a lot of times we put our feet in like a block, and like there is no way for your toes to be moving, or for your feet to be moving and taking shape. Like if you walk through stones and things, like your feet like take a shape, like it's not always like in a block, not moving. So big thing. And no more feet pain, nothing. It's like just feel strong and perfect and comfortable. And one thing that I did though is that, so I started those in October, but before that, October 2022. And before that, I was using it sometimes for a walk, sometimes for working out. Like I would put it and I would be with it for a few hours and then take it out, so that my feet were adjusting, because I noticed that if I would, for example, go for a walk, for 1 hour walk with it, I would have muscle pain, because your feet muscles are not used to working. So you feel it. So it's good to take the time to do that, to adjust to it. Okay, so I talked about the chemicals free. The other things that I mentioned in the article is that there's a lot of castor oil. Like it's a joke in my family that that's most of the time is my answer to everything is the castor oil, vinegar, baking soda. So that if you have that, you have a lot. There is a lot of cleaning products. You can make a lot of things. I've been making toothpaste with most of these ingredients: coconut oil, baking soda, xylitol. So you can, get everything. You can make things a lot simpler and natural. We're doing deodorant too, and so going more natural is also a big thing that's been helping. And simple, another big thing, huge, because even it's one of the things like that I can feel a little bit frustrated if I think about it, like how come it took me so long to find about this, like why are we not taught things like this from early? But anyways, Kay found it. It's about working with your lymphatic system. And so, there's like amazing video, one of my favorites, that explains this. It's from Stop Chasing Pain. And like how you work with, you always open your lymphatic system in the morning, not in the morning daily, but I've been doing it in the morning. There's like a sequence that you do, and that made a big difference in my body. Also, two things: the lymphatic system, and there's something else. Oh no, there was the sugar, because there's also sugar in this. Somehow I didn't write it down. There's sugar. I also stopped after having I had this intuition. Again, my body was like telling me, but I was like, I don't eat that much sugar. I don't eat. But then I got through a session with this amazing healer, and she confirmed it for me that it would be good to get off sugar totally. And I did, and it's been now 3 months, I think, or almost three months. And a lot has shifted. I see that my skin is healing. I can feel different energy levels too. And there is absolutely no cravings for sugar. It's not a difficult thing at all. And so, but that's something that in the first 2 weeks I felt detox symptoms. So that working with the lymphatic system and the sugar thing, that can bring detox symptoms. What helped me, what still helps me, is charcoal. So I put a teaspoon of charcoal in a glass of water, like half a glass of water, to make it easy to drink, and mix well and then drink it. And it's good to do it in an empty stomach, so you can do it in the morning or the night or anytime you need it, but it's best to do it in the empty stomach. So just like a little note at the to end this is the stress, because I noticed that for me, a lot of things come up stronger in my body from being stressed. And sometimes I'm not even knowing that I'm stressed. I'm just like, maybe sometimes I'm tuning into old things, even like those things that we are working with healing, that can even be from baggage from past lives, from old things. And that can be coming up, and we are having a story around it in this life, and something that is like that. You're working with this, and that can also create some kind of stress, because there is something else in your life now that is triggering that memory. I've been going through things like this a lot recently, and so that I noticed that those old things are triggering a reaction here, and that can cause some stress. And I only tune into this when my body I started noticing my body is giving symptoms of stress. Good to just bring that up so that we are noticing if there is something like this going on, like what can you do to relax? And sometimes there is so much going on that the only thing that helps for me is tune into a very light show, just to relax. And that can be really simple things like this. It can be also really helpful. I also notice, like if I am at the beach, if I am in nature, that is much helpful to go through those big energetic waves and portals and resonances, because we are grounding, right? And that's very helpful. Also, the sun helps a lot. Okay, I'm having a feeling that I might have forgotten something. Oh, yes, I did. Hello. It's about joy, because that was one of the things that triggered a lot of healing for me, was to stop focusing too much on symptoms and focusing on more, how can I be more joyful? How can I have more joy on a day-to-day basis? As Bashar says, the first step to enlightenment is to light them up, because that changes your frequency, changes your awareness and your focus. And so that helps the body heal a lot more than us focusing on, like, there is a symptom that needs healing and something, Yes, you bring all these elements to help and to support the body, but at the same time, you focus your energy, you're tuning into a frequency that is shifting. There is a frequency of health, frequency of joy, frequency of, it's a light frequency, right? So how can we focus more on that? That's why we started this about talking about, how we call it a healing journey. And so we're always healing. We always do we have something that is wrong to, something that it needs fixing? It's not that. It's a journey of working with a body, supporting our bodies through this adventure, through this evolution that we're going through, right? So have fun. Is there something else you would add? Let's chat in the comments, okay? I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.